Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and someone who owns way too many plastic robots. It's too late. Random review is about to begin.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel and welcome back to Yolopark. We are looking at another one of their AMK Pro figures, and last time I kind of showed you the packaging and the trays that all came in. No, we got to jump straight to it this time because we are looking at their Bumblebee movie Soundwave, who actually comes with considerably more than the Megatron. So we are going to be taking an in-depth look at this. Now, if you like what you are about to see, there is a link in the description of the video to take you straight to the Yolopark website so you can order your own. Spoiler alert, these things are really, really impressive. So for starters, if you just tuned in for this video because you saw Soundwave and went, ooh, pretty Soundwave, it is a very pretty Soundwave. What you are in for with the AMK Pro series is you're going to get a set of trays in order to put the figure together yourself. There's a skeleton and a whole bunch of outer armor for you to assemble. Now, this isn't like a fully broken down action figure kit. You are going to have a lot of the heavy work done for you, and a lot of the components are going to be a lot more solid as a result. So you're going to get like die-cast hips and shoulder arrangements. So that is going to be a lot more solid, and you don't have to deal with that. You just get to put it together. So it's a nice, easy, intuitive route. Similar to the Megatron, after I realized how they were numbering the parts in each tray, I really didn't need to refer to the guide for what part was what number. I could just kind of tell what was supposed to go where. So really intuitive design and arrangement. It's very, very good of them. And you can see the end result is a really, really impressive take on that Soundwave design. If we want a comparison, so I don't know why, but like Shadow Striker just has never left this desk since I first used her for size comparison. So I guess she's just the metric from now on. But yeah, very, very good size to these figures. The AMK Pro line in general just keeps these at a very good size. Good for keeping at a desk, but large enough to also be on a display in a shelf somewhere and be very noticeable. It's a great middle ground size for a Transformer piece. If I close in, I can show you some of the more intricate details, and now you get to see what's going on here. So things like that is not paint scuffing from any kind of packaging or shipping or my own. No, that's intentional wear. You're going to see this intentional paint job to make him look war-torn and rough around the edges all around the design. You can even see a little bit hits of rust here and there. You can see it around the edges of the faceplate here. And yeah, like they capture the look of this Soundwave really, really well. That almost gas mask look to his face. Yeah, that's kind of unique to this Soundwave, and they did a really, really good job on it. You see all the internal elements on the top that have been painted in. You can see Ravage in there. We'll get to that here in a minute. And then I'm just going to take a look around the figure so you can see just how much little detail goes into all the wear and tear paint job on this toy. You can see a lot of panel lining as well to bring out a lot of the details. You can see internal components and coloring. Really, really nice job all the way around. If I go into the midsection, little hits of gunmetal gray to break up little spots of the blue. A lot of little panels to create the look of the pelvis region. There's that panel lining. That makes so many of those details pop really, really well. If I bring it all the way down, you can see a little bit yellow in there, just to get that color on Soundwave down to the bottom side of the figure, as well as a lot more of the battle damage paint. It's not even battle damage, it's weathering. It's just little areas around the edges that look like they've been scuffed and worn out. These guys have been through millions of years of war. Absolutely makes sense. We'll take a look around the back because they do not neglect the details on the back, just in case you want to pose these in any kind of combat scenario. Yep, a little blue there in the midsection going up, a white and gunmetal in the lower back. And then again, panel lining, weathering all the detail you could want or ask for. It's a immaculate job that they have done recreating this design that we really didn't get to see much of in the movie. That's why I appreciate these figures that have this extreme level of detail, because it really emphasizes just how much work goes into those models, and it's very rare that we get a proper representation of it that's affordable to buy. So here we are. This one is definitely so. One thing I cannot convey in video is just how heavy this toy tends to be. Like I said, the hips and some of the torso arrangements are all done in die-cast, which makes them a lot more solid, much more mechanical in engineering design. But you're also getting die-cast in like the lower legs a lot. And that's the appropriate place for die-cast parts like that, because that lowers the center of gravity and makes it harder for them to tip over. You know, that's actually a good use of the die-cast. And obviously for an action figure, there's not as much worry about like articulation, wear and tear like I would for like transformation engineering. That does mean I'm going to be able to move this around and not worry about anything getting broken because the die-cast is going to flex against the wrong thing. No, this is the smart usage of the stuff, and it's being used the appropriate way. Now, I did mention the Ravage in the chest, so I think we need to go in with features here a little bit. So this chest actually does open up, and inside is this little, I guess, cassette. He's kind of a box shape in the movie, but here it's a flat detail cassette, which is painted and sculpted on both sides. Here's the fun part. This is a die-cast piece, and you can see like it has been 3D molded. Like, the parts are there. It just looks like a super flat Ravage from the movie. And you can see, like, there's even, like, inner details there on Soundwave. Vaguely tape recorder designed. The fun part about this is that there's two of these. Now, the second one is tampographed acrylic, and whichever one you're not using, they give you this silicone, like, keyring holder, or bag clip. So you can keep that on you and use Ravage as a decoration if you want to, depending on which one you want to use. So if you want a little bit flatter, a little bit lighter, this one is available, and this one also fits inside the cassette chest. And then if you want the die-cast and the heavily sculpted, that is there too. So whichever one you want to use in whichever way. I kind of prefer the three-dimensional sculpting, so we're going to put him right back there in the chest. So that's just one of the features of the toy. I want to go into articulation before we get into the others. So, yeah, head ball jointed. So full 360-degree movement on the head. Great to see that. The shoulder cannon also has points of articulation. It can hinge upward. It can rotate. And because it's I don't know if it's a 5mm, but it's a peg in the back, so it can also rotate on that axis as well. See, we have butterfly joints in the shoulders, as well as full universal movement, rotation upward. The armor on the shoulder is individually hinged, so it can get out of the way for your poses. We have bicep rotation. Of course we do. We have a little parts here that are also hinged as well, just to make sure everything can get out of your way as needed. The arms also hinge very, very well. They are they are extra hinged and double hinged to go beyond 90-degree bends. Really, really cool to see. The wrists are ball jointed, so you have full range there, and we'll get to more here in a minute. If we go into the torso, he does have an ab crunch. You can even see detail sculpted inside, underneath the ab panel. That's kind of ludicrous. He also has left and right, and again, you can see that there are little panels here that will move out of the way if you pose him in such of a tilted position. Waist rotation works. These are also hinged, so you can get those out of the way. They're actually double hinged if you need all the room to get the pelvis panels out of the way. Full range of motion here in the hips as well. This side panel does double hinge down to, again, give you a lot more motion if you need it for his posing. Soundwave isn't exactly a martial artist in this movie, so that's not really a necessary detail, but it's great to have it. It's always good to see the extra level of detail these guys get. And then you have all of this going on in the knee, which is a fantastic set. You look at how the thigh moves down too. All of that hinging around makes it look alive. Like, it makes it look like genuinely mechanical, like it is a living robot. Love little details like that. Very, very cool. So you have all that going on. You do have the thigh rotation as well, just in case I neglected to show you that. And then you have full ankles tilt, as well as back and forth, left and right. All universal motion down there in the ankle as well. Yes, the feet have detail. Exceptionally well-articulated figure. And now, I wouldn't expect anything less from this company. Like, every toy I've ever gotten from them, even the smaller ones, they are exceptionally well-articulated for price and size. This has as much range of motion as anything I could have bought anywhere else. And it's not done yet. So, we need added accessories here. So, let me just kind of show off a few here before we get into what else you get with this toy, because there is more still, even after this. So, for hand options, you're going to get these splayed open hands, which, that's pretty typical. So, fists and splayed open, so, just in case you need either one, that is all. That's pretty standard. You're going to get this for the right hand, which is to hold the gun, and I will show you the gun here in a second. There's a reason I'm saving it for last. You're going to get this hand, which is specifically to point Ravage to command, or I guess any of his cassette bots you imagine, or any command you would imagine Soundwave giving. So yeah, 2 fingers. And then you have this hand, which is currently gripping onto his gun. It does match the gun that Hasbro released for their Voyager class version. It's the made-up one because he never actually had one in the movie. But it's nicely designed. You can also see the wear and tear on it because even the guns go through that in a Cybertronian war. No surprise there. So yeah, really cool weathering all the way around. It's nice that it's consistent across multiple parts. But the hand holding it is the special part. I'm going to go ahead and show you. So this is pretty standard. You go pop it off there at the ball joint. Go ahead and pop that on, and now Soundwave is armed. What's special about this particular hand is that it's articulated as well. So you get another set of hinged hands. The thumb is ball jointed, and then you have individual finger. The index finger is double hinged at the knuckles, and then these are all sculpted together as one. So you can use this to grip onto things that the grip hand it comes with does not quite qualify. I tend to prefer it to hold the gun rather than the dedicated one. And yeah, it just lets you accomplish a lot more subtle poses than you would with your standard range of hands. It's great to include it as an optional, just in case you want that extra range, or like the original, like the normal pose hands don't quite hit the same level that you want. Now, the fists and the splayed open hands, all that do look better. So it's not that it's superfluous. It's just another option, and it's great to have those options. Yeah, and that just gives you a lot more things you can do with this Soundwave as far as just putting him on a shelf and just looking incredible, because he is going to look incredible no matter what you do. Now, he does have more and come with more. Just like the Megatron, he does come with a display stand. It is their standard Decepticon display stand. It also comes with this translucent hook arm. We will get to that in a minute. But just like the Megatron, it does have this very dense cable that you can plug into the backside of Soundwave. You can see the port under there. And that will let you give him any kind of, jumping or aerial poses that you can imagine Soundwave getting into. We also have the same light up feature. Now, I don't remember the size of the battery offhand because it is an unusual one. I'm going to put it in the video right here. And that's the one you're going to need to order. If you want to get the Soundwave, make sure you get this size battery. I found that this is actually a little bit tricky to get into his head's battery compartment, so have like a pry bar or a X-Acto knife handy to get it open, and then be careful of how you put it back in, because just to make sure the eyes line up correctly. But once that is all in, you take that Decepticon symbol on the front of the display stand and wave it around his head, and that will cause the eyes to light up. Similar to Megatron, different sequences. One tap is going to give you bright red, consistent eyes. A second is going to give you flashing. And a third is going to give you pulsing. Yeah, super cool. I love that they can get this in such a small scale. Like, we've come a long way when it comes to the electronic gimmicks on these things. And then, yeah, the fourth one is going to turn the whole thing off. Very, very good. All right, so that's Soundwave for you, but we're not done. Because this package, this particular set, just keeps going on and on. Let me introduce you to Ravage. Here's one we really didn't get a good look of in the movie because, well, he was in motion the whole time, being a pest to Optimus Prime. So now we get a fully rendered, fully painted and designed movie Ravage. I guess Bumblebee movie Ravage. And yeah, looking really, really cool. I like how he looks a little bit more crude than Soundwave. You can see like gears and things exposed in the sides of him. Just kind of lets you know that like he is a little bit more primitive, which I guess, yeah, he's basically unleashing an attack canine. Attack jaguar, whatever. But you can see he does keep to the same level of paint and sculpted detail. Lots and lots of wear and tear, lots of grit painted onto him. Panel lining is done on the white for him as well. Makes a lot of the detail pop. You can see the launchers on the side. These are pegged, so you can take them off if you want to. And then, yeah, that head, very ferocious sculpt, looking very Cybertronian Ravage, looking very, very good. You see this panel up here as well. That's also removable, should you want to. But articulation-wise, his jaw does open and close. He also has the ball joint in the neck for full range there. I believe all the hips are ball jointed, so they're ball jointed at the body, so you have that much rotation there, lots of movement. He does have the elbow and what would be the wrists if this was humanoid. And then, yeah, he does do the digitigrade leg thing. So he's got hinge here, and then another joint here at the foot in order to pose like that. You have a body joint as well, lets him bend up and down, which is great to see. And then, yeah, a little bit of hinge in the tail as well. So, yeah, Kitty's got a lot of posability to him. Very, very nice. For like a secondary figure, it's a pretty good inclusion. I'm glad it was included. It does make Soundwave feel like a far more complete package. Even when it's not a transforming Soundwave, I'm going to need at least one of his partners, because that's Soundwave's whole thing. And they do make sure that you can make Soundwave and Ravage feel like a collective unit, because this stand can be replaced with this stand, and this is specifically for Ravage to be doing any kind of jumping. So if you want to pose Soundwave releasing his like chest open and then Ravage flying out of it with this, you can accomplish that with this. It's a very, very thoughtful addition to what is already a really, really good toy. So that's what I got for you. That is your Yolopark AMK Pro Soundwave. I did neglect to mention he has swings on his hips as well, if you need that for any of your poses. So make sure those are nice and solid before we do like the wrap-up pose for this set, because this set definitely deserves it. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal job by Yolopark. Again, very impressed by the detail, very impressed by the build quality, considering I had to build so much of this myself. Really impressive that everything stays in place, everything feels nice and solid. I mean, it's as if I have like a fully constructed action figure right out of the box. So bravo to Yolopark. Just another phenomenal figure from them. Again, if you like what you have seen today, the link to go to it and get it yourself, I believe it is ready to ship from them right now. in the link below. So I will leave you to that, and thank you very much for watching. And thank you to Yolopark again. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.